What's up, y'all? It's the Dr. Investor back again with another fire video. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about real estate investing, personal finance, personal growth, and entrepreneurship. So today's topic, I'm going to be talking about what exactly is Section 8. There's a lot of misconceptions about the topic in the organization, in the entity. So in this video, I'm going to clarify exactly what it is. Before I get into the topic, you know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'll be right back with the topic. So what is Section 8? So Section 8 is a government program which helps provide quality housing in the private market for these individuals: low-income people, elderly individuals, and people with disabilities. So when did Section 8 start and who specifically funds the Section 8 program? So Section 8 started in 1974 by the Housing and Community Development Act. And Section 8 is a government program. It is funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD. It is administered nationwide by public housing entities. I'm in Chicago, so the public housing entity that administrates it is the Chicago Housing Authority. So how does an individual get Section 8? As I mentioned before, you have to be a low-income individual, have to be either disabled or elderly. So if you fit one of these groups, you will submit your paperwork to the Housing Authority of your specific city. They have their own calculations and income criteria, and then you're placed on a waiting list. If you're accepted, you then get your Section 8 voucher. It can take anywhere from 1 year to 25 years to get off that waiting list because there's such high demand for the program and there's a lot of individuals that fit that criteria. So once you do get this voucher, you have to find a landlord who wants to accept Section 8 tenants and apply to be in their unit. So when a landlord accepts a tenant who has a Section 8 voucher, it's not over just yet. I know some people may think, oh, the government's handling everything, but there are things the landlord must handle. There is a housing inspection that the landlord must pass for their unit to even be considered for a Section 8 tenant to live in. That's because they want to ensure that this unit is safe, because this is government money that will be paid to that landlord. And once they pass that inspection, then the landlord must outline a lease that Section 8 agrees with. Once that landlord accepts that Section 8 tenant and passes that inspection, that tenant's all good to move in. But there are responsibilities that Section 8 has for the tenant, and there's responsibilities that Section 8 has for the landlord. So Section 8 outlines responsibilities for their voucher holders, which are individuals with Section 8 vouchers. If you do not uphold these particular guidelines that they have, you can lose your Section 8 voucher. So some of these guidelines include making sure you pay your part of the rent, making sure you're not violating that lease that you signed with that landlord, making sure you're not participating in prohibited actions such as criminal activity, and lastly, not interfering with your neighbor's right to a peaceful household. This is basically a way for saying making sure you're not making too much noise and being disruptive. The owner's responsibilities include making sure you're collecting your portion of what Section 8 is paying for the rent. This is usually a direct deposit in. The government does not miss payments. Also, making sure you're enforcing your lease. Whatever you have outlined in your lease, making sure that that tenant is abiding through every rule that you set for that property. Your lease also means that if you need to evict someone, it's on you. So if someone violates your lease and its terms for an eviction, you have to make sure that you are evicting that tenant. Also, you need to make sure your property is up to date with Section 8 standards. Just because you passed that first inspection does not mean you're done. You're going to be doing an inspection every 1 to 2 years. And also, if there's any repairs that need to be done to the property, they're typically on your shoulders. So you have to be making sure you're making those repairs that occurs in your property within a timely manner. Section 8 may pay a portion of some repairs, but for the most part, those repairs are on you as the landlord. So knowing this, why would someone even consider renting to Section 8? Well, in 2023, about 14% of Americans are behind on rent payments. I can tell you, these are not Section 8 tenants. With inflation occurring, people losing their jobs, the price of living going up, people are missing their rent payments. But I can tell you one thing, Section 8 tenants do not miss their rent payments because they're mostly subsidized by the government. Like I said, the government can be paying 100% of that rent payment. And it doesn't matter if it's a global pandemic, such as with COVID. Doesn't matter if it's a recession, which may be upon us soon. It doesn't matter what the economic environment is. The Section 8 is a government-backed program, and the government will pay you every month without failure. So if you're an individual that wants those guaranteed payments, direct deposit, or checks every month and wants steady income, and you're dealing with individuals that are late on rent, say, I'll get you next week, I'll get you next month, boss. You're not dealing with that with Section 8. And even if they miss their payment, that's only a small portion of what you have to pay. Because even if a tenant misses their payment, you still have to pay that mortgage, property tax, and insurance as a landlord. So I would think long and hard about Section 8. Like I said in my prior videos, there's many great people in the Section 8 program. But you have to make sure you screen these individuals to see if they're worthy of living in your property, because you want good people in your property that are going to pay you back by taking good care of the property and not causing you drama or chaos in your property. So this video is more geared towards landlords who are considering taking Section 8 tenants. I know a lot of people are wondering, what is Section 8? Is that project housing? Does that mean I'm renting out in the hood? No, it does not mean that. It just means it's an individual that has a Section 8 voucher that's either low income, disabled, or elderly, and the government has issued them a Section 8 voucher. So that's a wrap for this video. If you know anybody that will benefit from my content, make sure you share my content with them. The Dr. Investor is out. I'll be back with another fire video soon. You know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about my channel.